AI is not coming for your leadership role, but a leader who uses AI well can absolutely outperform a leader who ignores it. That's the shift. That's the change that's happening. For a while, a lot of leaders treated AI as a writing tool, a research shortcut, or something the technology team needed to just figure out. That phase is over. AI is starting to change how work gets done, how decisions are made, how teams learn, and how leaders create value. The leaders who understand that shift will move faster, make better use of information, raise the standard for performance, and spend more of their time on the parts of leadership that only humans can do well. The leaders who ignore it will fall behind. Many of them won't realize until the gap is already obvious. Today, I want to walk through 3 ways AI is changing leadership, and more importantly, how you can adapt. I'm Barry Moline. I spent 29 years as a CEO, leading organizations through disruption, change, pressure, and uncertainty. I share practical lessons on leadership, teamwork, and influence to help you accelerate your own career journey. I run BJM Solutions and work as a licensed trainer in influence and persuasion with the Cialdini Institute. Welcome to the Leadership Career Accelerator, where we help aspiring leaders like you build executive presence, influence with impact, and get recognized and promoted. I am longtime CEO Barry Moline. One thing I've learned over and over is this: leaders who thrive through disruption are not usually the ones who resist change the longest. They're the ones who learn what's changing, understand what it means, and lead their teams through it with clarity. AI is one of those moments. It's not just a technology issue, it's a leadership issue. So let's start with the first change. First way AI is changing leadership is that it's replacing routine decisions. That means your value is shifting more toward judgment. For years, a large part of management involved collecting information, analyzing reports, summarizing updates, tracking resources, comparing options, and managing the flow of information. Those tasks still matter, but AI can now do a lot of that work much faster than a human can. That changes the job of a leader. Your value is no longer just that you can gather information. Your value is what you can do with it. AI can summarize a report, it can compare data, it can identify patterns, it can draft options, it can give you a first pass at a recommendation, but it can't fully understand your people, your culture, your political environment, your history, your timing, your risk tolerance, or the human consequences of a decision. That's still your job. The more AI handles routine analysis, the more leadership moves toward judgment, not vague judgment, practical judgment. The ability to see context, weigh trade-offs, understand people, and make decisions when the answer is not obvious. That's where leaders earn their value. So here's the action step. Identify 3 decisions you can make regularly. Ask yourself, could AI help me make this decision faster, better, or with more complete information? If the answer is yes, don't treat that as a threat. Treat it as a signal. Let AI help with the routine thinking so you can spend more time on the higher level thinking. That's the leadership move. So the first change is about judgment. AI can help you process information faster. It doesn't replace your responsibility to understand context, people, risk, and consequences. That means your job is not to compete with AI on speed. Your job is to use AI to get better results. Then bring better judgment to the decision. Now let's move to the second change. Because once AI raises the speed of work, it also raises the standard for performance. The second way AI is changing leadership is that it's raising the output floor. Work that used to take hours can now take minutes. First drafts can be created faster. Research can be summarized faster. Ideas can be organized faster. Reports can be reviewed faster. Presentations can be improved faster. That doesn't mean all AI-assisted work is good. It means the baseline has changed. If your team isn't using AI at all, they may be working slower than they need to. If they're using AI without guidance, they may be producing work that looks polished, but is inaccurate, shallow, or disconnected from the real issue. That creates a new leadership opportunity. You need to build AI literacy into how your team works. You need to be clear about where AI can accelerate the work. You need to be clear about where human review is non-negotiable. You need to define what good AI-assisted work looks like. You need to teach people not just to use the tool, but to think clearly while using it. Because AI can make weak thinking look more polished. That's a problem. A beautifully formatted answer can still be wrong. A confident summary can still miss the point. A fast draft can still lack judgment. So yes, your standards should rise, but they should rise in the right way. The standard is not use AI to produce more. The standard is use AI to produce better thinking, better preparation, better communication, and better execution. That's different. So here's the action step. Create a simple AI standard for your team. Where should AI be used? Where should it not be used? What work requires a human review? What information should never be entered into an AI tool? What does quality control look like before something goes out? Those questions need specific answers, because if you don't set the standard, your team will create its own habits. Some will be useful, some will be risky. Some will create problems you won't see until later. So now we've covered two important changes. AI is changing the value of leadership by pushing leaders toward better judgment. AI is also changing the standard of work by raising what teams can produce when they use the tools well. That means leaders can't stay neutral on this. You don't need to be the most technical person in the room, but you do need to set the expectations. Now let's move to the third change. This may be the most important one for developing people. The third way AI is changing leadership is that it's changing how people learn. Your team members now have access to tools. They can explain almost anything on demand. They can ask questions. They can practice skills. They can get examples. They can get feedback. They can learn technical concepts faster than ever before. That changes your role as a coach. Your value is no longer mainly about transferring information. It's about developing judgment, confidence, ambition, and perspective. That's a bigger role. AI can explain a process. It can teach a skill. It can create a checklist. It can help someone prepare for a meeting. But AI cannot know the full person sitting in front of you. It can't fully understand their confidence level, their blind spots, their habits, their frustrations, their aspirations, or how they show up under pressure. But you can. That means one-on-one conversations need to evolve. Don't use every check-in as a task update. That's too small. Use those conversations to ask better questions. Where are you stuck? What are you trying to figure out? What decisions feel unclear right now? What part of your work is giving you energy? What part is draining you? Where do you want to grow next? What kind of responsibility do you want to be ready for? Those questions are not just nice leadership questions. They help people think more clearly about their own development. That's where coaching becomes powerful. In a world where people can get information quickly, leaders need to help people make sense of that information. They need to help people apply it well. They need to help people grow into bigger responsibilities. So here's the action step. Change one of your next one-on-one meetings. Spend less time reviewing tasks. Spend more time developing the person. Ask what they're learning. Ask where they're stuck. And ask what kind of challenge would help them grow. That's where your human leadership becomes more important, not less. So let's bring these three changes together. AI is changing leadership by replacing routine decisions, raising the output floor, and changing how people learn. That means leaders need to adapt in three ways. Use AI to improve inputs, then bring better judgment, set clearer standards for AI-assisted work, and shift your coaching toward wisdom, development, and human growth. That's the new leadership work. AI won't replace great leadership. It will expose weak leadership faster. It'll show which leaders can adapt, which leaders can learn, and which organizations can raise their standards without losing the human judgment that makes them work matter. The leaders who do well in this next phase will not be the ones who use AI for everything. They'll be the ones who know where AI helps. They'll know where it doesn't. They'll know where human leadership is still absolutely essential. So start small. Pick one routine decision and use AI to improve the information you bring to it. Pick one team process and define how AI should be used responsibly. Pick one coaching conversation and make it more about growth than task updates. That's how you begin leading this shift instead of reacting to it. If this was helpful, like this video and subscribe. I share practical leadership strategies to help you become the kind of leader people trust, follow, and want to work with. I'm Barry Moline. I'll see you in the next one. If you're tired of managing drama, chasing accountability, and carrying the weight of a low-energy team, it's time for a better way. I help leaders and organizations build stronger teams, healthier cultures, and real momentum. Together, we'll identify where your current structure is falling short and what it will take to move from a stagnant, conflict-filled environment to a high-performing, purpose-driven organization. I speak and train frequently on leadership, teamwork, and culture, influence and persuasion, and AI and the future of work. Now is the time for action. Click the link in the show notes, schedule a call, and let's explore how to move you forward. I'm Barry Moline. See you soon.